Robert Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And thank you for being here with us. 888-933-93. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Jam-packed full of stuff today.
Seriously.
It's jam-packed. I mean, every day is full pretty much, but even more so today.
More full than the president's schedule.
Yeah, yes. Which is surprisingly empty for a president of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
They had nothing on the schedule yesterday. And so Jen Psaki was asked about that. And
so
here's what she said.
The president has nothing on his schedule today aside from the PDB. Can you shed any light on how he's spending his day?
Well, let's see. This morning, I think he had some policy meetings, also a PDB meeting.
A PDB, yeah.
He, later this afternoon, I think is doing some remarks review. There are some days that we spend some time doing internal meetings and discussions with policy experts, with policy leaders, and that's what's happening today.
Nailed it.
She has nothing with PDB, the PDB meeting, which is so important this time of year.
Wow.
How many PDB movies or meetings does he have during the week, I wonder?
Does P stand for pudding?
I have no idea. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But what's the DNP?
Yeah, I
see it come up with something for
those.
If
I had it, I would have said all three. So
it's the pudding day plan.
Pudding day
plan.
Briefing.
Plan.
Day.
No. PDB.
It's a presidential daily briefing. Right? And then, so
That's
that was the only
what it
thing
is.
on it. That was the only thing on it.
Yeah, the presidential briefing is really the only thing she could come up with. Because I'll bet you that guy's days are spent, I don't know, drooling in a corner somewhere, mostly.
Literally hooked up to some sort of magical intravenous drug.
Yeah.
Keeps him going.
They're pumping him full of drugs for whatever appearance he has to make.
Yeah.
And he has to appear cognizant for, 15, 20 minutes. And so they're pumping him full of drugs as he's drooling in a corner somewhere.
We do know that the White House had a couple of interesting visitors yesterday, however, that magically weren't on the schedule.
How weird.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a number people can call, Ivan, to talk about it? The Joint Chiefs of Staff, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and the defense secretary were seen leaving the White House.
Uh-oh.
Here's a little peek at that.
Out the back door.
Which is weird. Why are they going out the... Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. And there they are.
I love this guy. He takes his mask off where he gets in there. All right, show's over. I'm taking this stupid thing off. Get me out of here.
Well, that's what it's about. It's about theater. And they've essentially admitted that. So there were a couple of people that were in and out.
Anything going on in the world?
I don't think that the Joint Chiefs would be interested in. I don't think so.
Coming in, shooting the breeze, seeing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were there for the pudding briefing.
Possibly. Biden spoke about Russia and Ukraine yesterday. He did do that. Here's what he had to say.
There will be enormous consequences.
Enormous.
If he were to go in and invade, as he could, the entire country, or a lot less than that as well, for Russia, not only in terms of economic consequences and political consequences, but there will be enormous consequences worldwide. This would be the largest, if he were to move in with all those forces, it would be the largest invasion since World War II. It would change the world.
Thank you, guys.
Now, hang on. Now, keep listening.
Let's go. Thank you, guys. Okay. You guys, come on, let's go. Thank you.
Listen to what he says here.
There is not going to be any American forces moving into Ukraine.
Okay, so did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be no American forces moving into Ukraine, which means there will be American forces moving into Ukraine, just like there wasn't going to be a vax mandate or anything like that from the guy. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Although, what could he say that would convince you that we're not going to put troops there? There's nothing, right? He could say we are, so you'd believe that, and he could say we're not, which he just did, and you wouldn't believe that. So I don't know what he could say that would tell us that
the
no
man's
troops
track
are going
record
in.
shows that.
Yeah,
remember,
they're just lying sacks, and we all know that.
Just all I'm asking you to do is wear a mask for the first 100 days of my presidency.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's not so bad,
Has it
right?
been 100 days?
I know you're impatient, but give us 100 days, and then we'll we'll get back to maybe you can have a barbecue by the 4th of July with 3 other people who live in your house. Yeah, but don't leave the house if you're vaccinated, right? And you do what we tell you every step of the way.
Don't stand downwind of the unvaxxed in your neighborhood either.
The Ukraine situation. I don't know what to tell you because I don't want American troops there. I don't want to get involved in another war, and I certainly don't want an active hot war with Russia. Does anybody want that?
Are you good with us sending weapons to Ukraine?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the level of involvement wants to be.
Yeah, and I guess we can confiscate their non-existent bank accounts in the United States. We can do that too. Shut those down like we did a few times ago.
I don't know. I'm not convinced Putin's going in.
Really?
I don't know.
He's faking it?
I think so. I don't know why I have that feeling. That's just my gut right now.
And my question is, would 100,000 troops be the largest invasion since World War II? Is that accurate?
In Europe? Huh.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Probably
That's
Europe.
not. So the Soviet Union invasion of Czechoslovakia was not bigger than that? Or who else has been invaded? Afghanistan 1 million times. Did nobody send more than 100,000 troops to Afghanistan?
Well, that's not Europe. I think
no.
Europe, right?
Was he talking about only
Europe?
He said
Europe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the disclaimer then, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. 888-900-3393. Also, the Biden administration withdrawing the big business vaccine mandates.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Yeah, that's good. Are they bowing to pressure? Are they just pretending?
It was the Supreme Court ruling.
I know, but they were ignoring it. They didn't care about the Supreme Court ruling at first, and now they're finally going to? I mean, I'm good with that.
Well, they're good. Yeah, it's interesting that they see the writing on the wall with this Supreme Court ruling, but they've ignored previous ones.
Yeah.
Like on the foreclosure or whatever it was, the rent, remember that one? They totally ignored that court case.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't want to celebrate anything.
I know, because you don't trust it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to jinx it.
The both, yes.
OSHA is evaluating the record and the evolving course of the pandemic. OSHA has made no determinations at this time about when or if it will finalize a vaccination and testing rule. The agency intends to work expeditiously to issue a final standard that will protect healthcare workers from COVID-19 hazards.
Yeah, so
that's their big statement.
So the medical professionals still have to get this, right?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah.
I mean, that's what the ruling was.
Unless they unilaterally decide not to, because I don't know, what are you going to do if you don't have your employees? If you don't have enough doctors and nurses who've been vaccinated, what are you supposed to do?
And that's happening in a lot of cases.
It is happening. It's happening in a lot of hospitals across the country.
Maybe these hospitals are struggling to keep up with demand because this is completely anecdotal. I have no idea on these numbers exactly, but I wonder how much of this is attributed to healthcare workers who just didn't get the vax and now aren't able to go to work. In some cases, you've seen where they've said, "All right, you can come back now." They've even said,
"Yes."
What was it? The COVID positive, or what was it? The if you're vaxxed, I forget. Every different hospital system is doing things differently. But the bottom line is, they've created this mess, and now they're backpedaling.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So as we check in on the COVID numbers, let's check in on the numbers in Scotland and see what they've been doing, because they've released an interesting chart that shows the infection rate among the vaccinated, the 1-dose people, 2 doses, and then the 3 doses with your booster.
Okay.
So you got you're fully vaccinated and you've got a booster.
Okay, so that's the bottom line that you're looking at.
The very top line is unvaccinated.
Unvaxxed. Okay.
Okay, so it's circled in red. The next one is the 1 dose.
Okay.
So you're partly. Then there's 2 doses, so you're fully vaccinated, at least what used to be considered that. And now the 3 doses. So you're fully vaccinated and you got your booster.
The bottom one. Okay. So what we're seeing there is throughout the pandemic, a very similar chart as far as rate of infection, right?
Yes.
And what's the biggest difference, though? It's those spikes. You see, the unvaccinated, I mean, they spiked recently, but it's more of a hill, whereas the vaccinated...
It's worse with the 3 doses.
Sharper spikes.
It is worse with the 3 doses. That's incredible. Yep. Now, there are points along the way, as you mentioned, where it's better for the vaccinated. It looks a little bit better. It's not a huge difference, though, really. Mm-hmm. It tracks about the same, except the 3 doses are kind of a flat line for a while, and then they really start to spike here.
Well, and I don't have... I do. Hang on a second. I got a copy of this. So this starts in May. What you're looking at is in May. And you got to understand, the booster here, this is October. I mean, that's about the time they start doing the booster. So that's why it's... There's no data.
Oh, that's right.
There's no data until October.
Right. That is crazy.
But y'all be sure to, if you want to keep your job...
Yeah, make sure you're vaccinated.
And triple boosted.
Otherwise, seriously, you don't deserve to live if you're not vaccinated. That's kind of what this poor man is being told who has heart disease. He's dying. He needs a heart transplant or he will die. And they took him off the transplant list because he's unvaccinated.
Unreal.
So aren't they really saying to you, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to live? That's essentially what he's being told here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The family of a patient who's fighting for his life speaking out after a Boston hospital removed him from their heart transplant list because he's unvaccinated. Why would you? What does that have to do with it?
I mean, we've lost humanity.
My gosh.
Humanity's done.
And what they'll say is, well, we're not going to waste it on somebody who's going to die anyway from COVID-19. The chances of him dying from COVID are minimal, even with the comorbidity. Most people survive. They act as if everybody dies who gets this virus. They act like it's a 90% death rate instead of a less than 1% in many age groups. Now, this guy's obviously got some issues, but you're just telling him, sorry, you're going to have to die. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't really understand that.
Segregation now back in style.
Yeah. The haves and the have-nots. The haves are the vaccinated people. David Ferguson told a Boston station this week that his 31-year-old son, DJ Ferguson's heart, has deteriorated to the point that it will no longer work on its own. Thankfully, he was first in line to receive a heart transplant. But not anymore because of his unvaccinated status. They took him off the list.
Off the list. Unranked,
from
if you will.
First in line to, sorry, you're not getting one. Wow. My son has gone to the edge of death to stick to his guns, and he's being pushed to the limit. They added that it's kind of against his basic principles. He doesn't believe in it. It's a policy they're enforcing, and so because he won't get the shot, they took him off the list of a heart transplant. You got to be pretty committed to not getting the shot, because I think I'd cave.
Oh, really?
For a heart transplant? Yeah. I'm going to say, okay, put the thing in my arm.
No.
All right?
No, I'm saying, here's my GoFundMe. Please help me out. I need to find a hospital that will do this for me. And
it's kind of a long shot, but yeah.
What happens.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I'm caving at that point.
Huh.
I'm going to say, yeah, give me the shot and give me the heart. Okay? Because I'm just done if you're taking me off the transplant list.
I can honestly say
that is unbelievable.
I cannot envision a scenario where I am ever taking this shot. Just not doing it. And this society is got a lot of people like me in it. Mm-hmm. And it's the word interesting isn't what comes to mind, but it's going to be, where are we headed, Pat? Where does this end? Where does this end? I mean, you've got the truckers in Canada who are driving across the country, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of truckers headed to Ottawa to send a message to Justin Trudeau to say, look, we're not getting your shot, so back off. And that's going to be, well, interesting when they actually get to Ottawa. And,
will be interesting.
And you got 10,000 U.S. truckers headed up there to join them. It feels like America is so far behind when it comes to protesting this stuff.
Well, we are, yeah. Well, when it comes to protesting anything, really.
And that's a shame.
We just don't do that.
It's built into our founding documents, so we absolutely have that right, and yet we don't take advantage of it. We had the event on Sunday up in D.C., and by all the video I saw, the turnout was pretty tepid.
Sparse?
Yeah, it was just a few thousand people from what I could see.
Yeah.
And it just...
In some of the European cities, like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands are showing up.
Every weekend.
Yeah, they're big into protesting this stuff.
We're asleep at the wheel.
I know, it is. It's sad. All right, let me tell you about a new sponsor. That's not brand new because I think we were talking about him last week, but CBDistillery.com. Does CBD work? Well, over 90% of doctors and their patients have used CBD to treat a health condition. Just to give you an idea, my wife just pulled a muscle in her back, and it's really bad. It's given her, we're about to go on this trip, and
a lot of walking coming up.
She can barely move her neck, and it's just a mess. So she called our friend who's a neurosurgeon, and she said, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? What was his advice? CBD.
Nice.
Yeah. Rub some CBD on it, and you're going to be good. It's great stuff. CBDistillery.com. With over 2 million customers, CB Distillery is a source I trust. And look, this is not the stuff that gets you high. This doesn't have THC in it. So it's not marijuana. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything wrong. It's the medical part of the plant that really actually works. When patients tell their doctors that they use CBD for help with their health conditions, some of these conditions are like sleep disorders. If you're having a hard time getting to sleep at night, 90% of CB Distillery customers said they sleep better. Nagging discomfort or things like the pulled muscle like my wife has, it works great for that. If you haven't discovered the power of CBD, you're missing out. Go to cbdistillery.com, cbdistillery.com, where you order online, no prescription required. Enter PAT for 20% off. Again, enter PAT for 20% off at cbdistillery.com. That's cbdistillery.com. Not available in Idaho, Iowa, or South Dakota.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Earlier this week, Senator Ron Johnson again had health experts in talking about COVID. Here's a California doctor explaining what happens to doctors who try to write medical exemptions.
Went out to all physicians from the medical board saying, any physician in California who writes an inappropriate exemption for masks or other COVID-related measures will have his medical license subjected to investigation and disciplinary action.
Come on.
So for a physician, to help you to understand, this kind of threat hanging over your head is worse than the threat of getting fired. If I get fired from a particular healthcare organization, I can go to another healthcare organization or go start a private practice. If I lose my medical license, I cannot practice medicine. Okay? That's how serious this is. The letter never defined what might constitute an appropriate or inappropriate mask mandate. So I have no idea if I write a mandate for a kid with a severe anxiety disorder that's worsened by the wearing of a mask. Is that going to subject my medical license to disciplinary action? Physicians in California interpreted the phrase and other COVID-related measures to include vaccines, which had already been rolled out at that point. It has become de facto impossible to get a medical exemption for a COVID vaccine in the state of California. No physician will write them, even when you have someone that has a contraindication listed on the CDC's list of contraindications to COVID vaccines.
They still won't.
I have a patient, went to her rheumatologist, specialist in her autoimmune condition. This specialist told this patient, I don't think you should get the COVID vaccines, given your age, your low risk of COVID, and I think there's a good chance that these vaccines, based on the data that we have, could worsen your underlying medical condition. She turned to the same physician immediately afterwards and said, can you write me, therefore, a medical exemption? Because I need one for work. There's a vaccine mandate at work. Same physician that just told her not to take the vaccine or recommended against it said, no, I'm sorry, I can't write you a medical exemption because I'm afraid I might lose my license.
Jeez. So what are you supposed to do in that case? Get fired, I guess, right? Because the doctor cannot really write you an exemption, and yet you don't want to get the vaccine because you're told it could be detrimental to your health.
I'd say move out of California, but you know, here in Texas, when it came to me getting Ivermectin, that in itself was a challenge.
You had to drive an hour from your house just to fill your prescription.
More than an hour away, it was, yeah.
And that's getting a prescription from a doctor, from a licensed medical doctor, an MD, not some quack, not somebody who has an honorary degree from somewhere, and they still wouldn't fill it anywhere near you.
No.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You know, Dallas-Fort Worth, big area. Big
Huge.
metro.
It's gigantic.
It's like two major cities, right? Okay, so you got Fort Worth and you got Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
they connect.
I live out here, okay? This doctor is down here. So we're over near Fort Worth. The closest pharmacy he knew of that would fill his prescription was over there, past Dallas. Now, it's not drawn to scale, obviously, but the distance between here and there is probably about 75 minutes there. And he's here. So you would think, is there nothing closer, bro?
No, there wasn't.
I don't know of any if there is. Sir.
I don't understand why it's legal for pharmacies to tell you, no, I'm not filling your doctor's prescription. Should that be legal? That's something we should look into, I think.
Well, and then the case can be made. Okay, well, then, so you want a pharmacist to fill the morning after pill. I mean, that's the counter argument in this, right? Like, are you going to force somebody to fill that prescription? And that's where they make that case.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not taking a life by prescribing ivermectin. So nice try.
Although they will claim you might be.
Okay.
You know they will.
Yeah.
You know they'll claim that's detrimental. That's horse paste. You're taking horse paste.
And let's say it is. Who cares? As a libertarian-minded American, I don't care what. It's my body. I should have the right to put whatever I want to in it, including horse paste, which goes the other way. I should keep whatever I want out of my body, which goes for the vaccine.
Which we know. My body, my choice does not apply to COVID-19 and ivermectin. Does not apply.
Yeah, if you're a leftist and you are totally good with vax mandates and forcing people to do this in order to maintain their livelihood or get into concerts or whatever, you need to rip that bumper sticker right off your car that says, my body, my choice, because you clearly do not believe that anymore.
No, that's for sure. I mean, the inconsistency and the hypocrisy is absolutely outrageous. And the ivermectin, again, it is not horse paste. It's not the same drug that the horses take for worms. That's not the same thing.
But you can take that.
You can.
I mean, you can absolutely do the ratio, the calculation, body weight, all that good stuff, and have at it.
Right.
It's
better not to, I would think. You know, have a doctor prescribe you the right amount and the right dosage and take the right pill.
But if you don't want people taking horse paste, then make it easier for them to get an actual pill from an actual doctor instead of calling their cousin who's a vet tech.
And it worked for you.
Yes.
Once again, let's not forget the bottom line here is it worked. And it worked for producer Rob, who's in the next room.
Yeah.
He was sick like a pig as well.
The most
and finally got ivermectin and got better.
Yeah. The most frustrating aspect of this entire illness for me was the waiting from calling to get a doctor's appointment until getting it. Remember, I called on a Wednesday because I knew this guy would prescribe ivermectin. I couldn't get an appointment until Monday.
Jeez.
And so in the meantime, Americans are sick and not healing when if the FDA, which is a de facto drug cartel, if they would allow doctors and patients to have this relationship that we hear is so sacred, then let them have it and seek whatever drugs they want.
Right. Whether it's hydroxychloroquine, which was big in the beginning, or whether it's ivermectin, whatever it is, it should be between you and your physician. It really should. Now, do you remember early on we played the video of a couple of doctors in California who had been treating people? I think this was hydroxychloroquine, though. Was it ivermectin, or I think it was hydroxychloroquine?
I think it was that, yeah.
Dan Erickson and Artin Masihi called a press conference to talk about their conclusions with the 5,213 COVID tests they'd conducted at their centers and testing site. Yeah. They claimed the results showed that the virus had spread further in the area undetected, and it wasn't all that dangerous. But
that got them kicked off of social media.
Yeah. These guys were persecuted after talking about this. Here's what they had to say back then.
Yeah, well, we don't have that clip.
Oh, we don't have that clip.
Oh, no, that's been scrubbed off the internet.
Oh, okay.
We tried to find it. But
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's these two guys, yeah.
It's a nice meme, though, that's going around now.
Turns out they were right all along, and it was the CDC, the WHO, FDA, Fauci, and the media who were spreading medical misinformation.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about it. And they had lost, I believe, 0 patients that they had treated with hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody died.
Yeah, I don't think so. They said, we're the ones who are treating these patients, not Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci hasn't treated a patient for 40 years.
Right. Uh-huh.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So these guys are on the front lines, and they're telling you their experience, what they have actually seen happen with their patients, and it's just completely discounted.
Yeah, and we're going to run out of time here. We have some more clips from the Ron Johnson hearing up at the Senate, but we might have time for the doctor talking about antibodies, the difference between antibodies that come naturally and through the vaccine. Do you want to hear that?
All right, yep.
Watch this, Doc.
And this is basic immunology. If you get a shot in your arm, you don't have a tendency to, everybody hears about antibodies, but there's a special kind in your tears, your nose, your mouth, called secretory IgA. It's little mops in your tears. If you've had a natural infection, you have high levels of secretory IgA, these little mops in your mucosal membranes, and that mops up virus quickly. The virus, the response from the vaccine, you don't get this physiologically. So we are seeing actually the vaccinated carry a high volume of virus because they don't have this secretory IgA. So this false construct from our federal agencies that this is a pandemic and the unvaccinated are spreading is a pathophysiologic lie. The vaccinated are carrying high volumes in their nose, their tears, their mouth of virus because the vaccine does not neutralize in that location of the body where the virus comes in. So this is very important. This is why mandates are absolutely now moot, irrelevant, and out the window and need to go away worldwide like most of the world has done already. This is the funny uncle. This is not SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19. This is COVID-22 meh.
Heretic.
Uh-huh.
Heretic.
Yeah.
Was he arrested after saying all that?
Probably.
I hope he was.
It is
I hope he was
Washington,
taken directly to prison. He doesn't even deserve a trial, that guy.
Right. And to his point, what he just said about the vaccinated carrying the... Look at that chart from Scotland again.
Right.
A lot sharper spikes for the vaccinated. The more doses you have, the sharper the spike as far as infection rates lately.
So there's some reasons for it, and he just explained some of those reasons. That Scotland is experiencing a chart like that. Well, that's why, because you got all kinds of that virus in your nose, coming out your eyeballs, spilling out your ears.
COVID-22 meh.
Jeez. All right. We're going to chew the fat coming up with Jeffy next.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Pat Gray is here, and he's unleashed.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
All right. Swallowed his tongue there, which is weird. It's kind of strange when that happens. Probably not ideal, to have to swallow your tongue like that. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. It is now time.
Oh, wow.
That time of the week again.
Nice.
We had a listener call this 2001 A Space Oddity when you play this version.
Oh,
yeah. I appreciate.
It fits.
It fits. It does.
Jeffy, is it accurate to say
Can you
that...
not speak during the...
No, I'm going to speak. It's not your turn yet. It's your birthday, is it not? So happy birthday to you.
Is it really?
Not today.
I believe it's today.
No, you're being correct.
No, I'm not
You're
incorrect.
correct.
What day is your birthday then?
29th.
29th? What the hell?
3 days.
How many years in a row have I wished you a happy birthday on the 26th and you not corrected me? Shame on you. Well, now I'm not going to wish you a happy birthday on the 29th.
I don't know what I'll do.
Well, happy birthday. Preview. I got to change my phone setting and everything.
And it's time to chew the fat now.
Thank you.
With Jeffy.
I hate
Happy
you so
birthday on
much,
the
dude.
29th.
I hate you so much.
You played the clip on Monday of Jen Psaki on The View. You know, while, when Joy, you know her, you love her, Behar, a little bird told me, you said you might be retiring, resigning the job this year. Say it isn't so. Is it true? And, of course, everybody played the clip of her saying...
I don't know when I'm leaving. This is an honor and a privilege, and I love working for President Biden.
Yeah, no, that, and then everybody cuts the clip off. But it was what she said after that just agonized me.
I love spending time with him, hearing what's on his mind. Actually, going on the road with him is really the best thing possible. I wish everybody could have that experience because he gets so much joy out of it. No one likes a rope line more than President Biden.
Oh, God. Nobody likes a what?
A rope line. Where he goes up and talks to the press. Now, I know that she has to lie. That's what she does. I get it. But that is agonizing. And by the way, when has she gone on the road with Joe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dr. Jill is usually his enabler on the road.
Yeah.
No one enjoys a rope line more than Joe. That is unbelievable.
Even the press complains about the fact that he doesn't take questions from them at all, like Trump used to do every single day. Every day he'd go to the rope line. I love hanging out with him, hearing what's on his mind. He's so sharp and witty and insightful.
He taught me so much.
So brilliant.
And wow, that clip that you aired earlier in today's show where he was talking to the press, I mean, that side shot of him, they got to stop doing that shot. Man, holy
side
cow,
shot, mask, heavy breathing.
You see the way, what hair he has left is almost all gone and sticking on him. He looks bad. That's a bad angle. So don't let that happen.
Well, yeah, he's getting old. I mean, he's almost 80.
Don't let that happen.
He's almost 80.
I know.
Most 80-year-olds are hanging out in, assisted living homes, not being president of the United States.
Fair, he's hanging out in an assisted living home, too.
That is true. But he's also...
the president,
supposedly the president of the United States.
Well, it's good. Speaking of President Biden, there's a new book, a children's book out there now by Juanita Broadwick. You remember her, allegedly raped by Bill Clinton. I don't know if this is from really her or not, but the Twitter account links to her website. Anyway, she posted it on her Twitter account this past weekend. New from Little Golden Books, Grandpa Smells Like... and with illustrations by Hunter Biden, comes with a scratch and sniff sticker as well. So that looks like an interesting read, I'll tell you that.
Good stuff right there.
I love it.
Scratch and sniff.
Awesome.
Little Golden Books. I remember those.
I know.
Oh, man.
That's awesome stuff
All right,
there.
so for those who don't have access to the actual video feed, it's Grandpa Smells Like... I'll say pee.
Okay.
Grandpa smells like pee. That's not the exact word.
No, it is not
that was used.
Word, the Little Golden.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
So bad. Oh, man.
A friendly reminder to subscribe to my daily podcast, Chewing the Fat, available wherever you get your podcast. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. Okay, subscribe and enjoy. Okay, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're headed to Florida next week.
Yes.
I know you're bringing the brood.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bringing the dog?
No.
I was just wondering.
No.
I'm just wondering because just a heads up, home surveillance captured chaotic moments when Walter Hitchcock was attacked on his porch as he tried to shield his dog from a bear.
Oh, no.
Just a little northeast of Orlando.
Oh, my. Oh, man.
He moves the couch in front of
I
it.
stopped it, man. He said he wasn't worried about his safety. He just wanted to protect his family.
Hey, that was a good animal video, by the way.
I think you're welcome.
Uh-huh.
I know.
Yeah.
He said he was trying to protect his dogs
Just instinct,
and his wife.
instinct, man.
Now, he said the dog wasn't hurt, although I will say, a quick toss of that dog out the door, that bear's going the other direction, right? I mean, that's what the bear's after, right? And you can see in the video, it happens real quick, but there's more than one dog on that porch. That's what that bear's after, man. The bear's hungry.
The buffet.
The dog is happening, man. And you can see, if you just play the video again, you watch in the very beginning, there's more than one dog on that porch. There's one, there's two. Oh, yeah, the bear's like, I'm going after the dogs, man.
I mean, he just goes right at the bear.
It's this little,
Yeah, he does.
It's a little black bear, though. No.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not a full-grown bear. It's just a little...
Now, he said he plans to install a door on the outside
where
part
was
of the
this?
porch. This was just
in Orlando.
Northeast
Or
of
northeast
Orlando.
of-
Yeah, just
Wow.
northeast of
Yeah,
Orlando.
weird.
Now, that bear has not been captured. Another person, a woman, was injured by a bear while walking her dog near her home in DeBerry, Florida, which is just a little north of Orlando. She was left with a scratch on her face as the bear tackled her to the ground. She said she took off running. The bear came running behind her.
Yeah, bears are
jumped
fast.
her,
You can't
threw her on the
outrun
floor.
bears.
I know. Now, the bear's yearlings were reportedly nearby during the attack. She was, there was obviously non-life-threatening injuries, just a little scratch to the face.
So they didn't put the bear down,
They
did they?
put the big bear down.
Oh, they
Yep,
did? When it was protecting its cubs?
The three.
That's uncool.
The three 100-pound
That's not cool.
yearlings, I guess, were old enough to survive on their own, so they put the big one down.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
So be careful next week.
Yeah, okay.
In Orlando, would you? I mean, I'm a little concerned.
I'm thinking Disney and Universal probably have some bear spray.
That's not the only thing you need. That's not the only thing you need to be worried about. All right, I know the colder weather is happening.
Yeah.
And iguanas are falling from trees. So just a heads up.
Oh, okay.
Down in Florida,
Looking up.
They're not dead. They're not dead.
They're just sleeping.
But they kind of freeze up until it warms up. And
Really?
then they're fine.
And then they fall from the tree?
Yeah. I don't want you or one of your brood to get bonked in the head from a frozen lizard.
iguana.
Yeah.
I don't want that either.
Okay, hold on a
I
second.
care.
So
Yeah.
here's
That's a
what
good
we've
safety
learned
tip. Thank you,
from travel
Thank you.
agent Jeffy here. Okay, when you go to the park, carry bear spray, right, and wear a hard hat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just to be safe.
And continually be looking
heads
up
up
for falling
Heads
lizards.
up, man.
That's great.
So I would have your phone with you. I want live
Now
footage
that
of the family.
that
of the brood.
iguana, that last video that you had of the iguana was just laying there,
Yeah.
barely moving. That was me during the last round of COVID. Like that's just no energy whatsoever.
Oh, that is just exactly what COVID feels like.
Sure.
Where you can't do anything. You just want to lay there. And you've got no energy to even get up.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right. One of the things we hear a lot about these days, and we were just talking about this, half an hour ago with Keith, is where do you find a doctor online that you can trust who's a COVID expert and not just a prescription factory, and where you can get and find a pharmacy that will dispense off-label medication that won't charge you an arm and a leg. Where can you get that? Well, the answer to all of these questions is MyGoToDoc.com. Now, Omicron is obviously milder than Delta, and hopefully it'll mean the pandemic is over soon. But we know a lot of people who've had a really rough time of it recently, in fact. High-risk patients need meds on hand so they can start treatment fast. And low-risk patients often benefit from the off-label meds because they can prevent long COVID, which could be debilitating. Dr. Syed Haider, Haider, has built something at MyGoToDoc.com that I want to tell you about for 3 reasons. First of all, he's a COVID expert. This is all he does. And he's treated over 40,000 patients with 0 deaths. That's incredible. That is. 40,000 patients, no deaths. Number 2, you can register for free and ask questions forever. 3, they connect you to pharmacies that ship you a full 28 doses of Ivermectin for less than $150. The best source for COVID-19 help is MyGoToDoc.com. I encourage you to check them out today because you'd rather have them now than when you really need them badly and you can't find them and you can't remember it. It's MyGoToDoc.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And we got more Chewing the Fat with Jeffy.
And, we were talking about animals coming back from the great beyond of frozen. The Deloid rotifer is awake, a multicellular microorganism that's been snoozing in the Siberian permafrost for the past 24,000 years. Became frozen in the Arctic ice right around the same time in history when, the late Stone Age came about. The Deloid rotifer is a freshwater creature that can be found around the world, measuring too small to see with the naked eye. I mean, I know Pat, and I'm just saying to the audience that 150 and 700 UMs, the unit for micrometers, which is used to measure the microns.
Right.
Not only did the animal come back to life,
oh my gosh, it did
come back to life from its frozen nap, it also successfully cloned itself multiple times with an asexual reproduction form known as
parthenogenesis.
Yeah, whatever.
Parthenogenesis.
That's what I said, yeah. Not real sure that I like that, but it's interesting.
That's like the opening scene of a horror flick or something, man.
Yeah, wow.
I know.
From what was it? It was been frozen since the
24,000 years ago.
Stone Age.
Yeah.
And it came back to life.
Yeah.
Wonder years.
How is that possible? That's science fiction.
Just add water, baby.
That's science fiction.
And they've got these top of Stone Mountain, Georgia. They've got these craters or whatever where when they get filled up with water, these organisms that have been around, since Jeffy's Wonder Years, they come to life again. It's just there's some of these weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't want to mess with them. Let's just leave them alone. All right.
Yeah, let's just leave.
Yeah, and then they start reproducing by themselves. Weird.
I don't like it.
Really weird.
I don't like it.
All right, so you want to talk NFL? You want to talk Major League Baseball, Hall of Fame?
When do we talk about what's happening in Pennsylvania? Are we doing that today?
I mean...
You've been covering it on Chewing the Fat, I realize, but we haven't talked about it on this show.
Keith's fascinated.
I'm fascinated. I'm terrified.
With the monkeys.
I feel like 3 months from now, we're going to still be talking about this story and be like, oh my gosh, remember this? And
remember when it started?
Yep. Tell us
we've seen enough movies to know.
Tell us.
That's how it starts. You have a traffic accident on the road. Monkeys spill out of it. You didn't know that they were lab monkeys, so you went up to help the monkeys. All of a sudden, your nose starts to bleed.
Well, you have an open cut on your hand.
Ears are bleeding.
You get pink
You got
eye.
blood dripping from your eyeballs.
I don't know that.
I mean, that's pretty close to what happened.
It is almost.
Pretty close to what happened.
I know.
So you know the story.
It's amazing that we don't know. We know that they were on their way to the undisclosed CDC lab.
So hold on. They flew them in from Africa, right?
Flew them in from Africa, from the island that you can issue your names on. That's where the Cleveland Indians put their new name online at the Mauritius Islands. Yeah, they came in from Mauritius to New York, and then they were in a crash as they were being transported in Pennsylvania.
Danville, Pennsylvania.
No, they on their way to that undisclosed CDC location.
Yeah, there was 100 of them.
100 of them.
Yeah,
and the one lady got out to help, and 4 of them escaped.
Yeah.
One hissed at her. She said there was monkey poop everywhere.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
And now she's saying, she said that she started to feel like she's getting sick.
She had an open cut on her hand.
Got pink eye.
Right, see?
And
she called it the day from hell. She said it was like having COVID.
And she's being treated for rabies.
Did she get bitten?
I don't know.
The thing hissed at her, and PETA issued something that says that maybe I don't know, she got so close that maybe there was
spit
some intake. Yeah.
Now she said in the story that she called a hotline, a helpline. Is there a 888
I just encountered lab monkeys.
Hotline? I don't know. Like apparently there is. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the CDC.
It's 1-800. I just encountered lab monkeys.
No, no. No, I think it's this is gonna be the Danville strain. That's what they're gonna call this eventually.
Strain.
We're gonna hear it's gonna get a name soon.
So then she said that originally the story said 4 got out and they caught 3, and then Saturday they said, oh, we got them all, and they apparently have put them all 4 down. Well, I mean, they were coming from Mauritius, they weren't treated with anything yet, right? I mean, they were just wild monkeys.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
No,
they were on their way to the lab.
I think it said they were infected.
Oh no! What?
Yeah,
I mean, because they flew into New York. They were flying from Mauritius to New York.
Right. So then they were infected if they'd been through New York.
Yeah, they were infected with something. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I read they were infected.
If you're getting sick from a hiss and stepping on the poop that fell out of the crates when they were crashed, right?
Wait, hold on. What was this part about a cat? There was a cat involved?
Well, that was the original story. I thought it looked like what I thought was a cat crossing the road.
So
no, that was a monkey.
It was a monkey?
Dummy. I mean, the sad thing is the lady.
A cat, a monkey. It's hard to tell the difference.
It is. Yeah. The lady is kind of dumb.
We need to get this. I know. We need to get this lady one of those push button books that you get for your kids.
Yeah.
This is a cat.
See,
this is a monkey.
Her Facebook post is almost just unreadable.
Almost incoherent.
It is.
It's really strange. Now maybe it's because she's infected.
Maybe it's because she's infected.
Yeah. She's got the Danville strain. I've heard that's one of the side effects.
Hey,
that's her. In fact, I interviewed her on Chewing the Fat, and I asked her how everything was going, and she said,
I would like to point out that
it's going well.
Yeah, it's going well.
Yeah,
every story in Chewing the Fat today, animal related. Yay!
More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Welcome. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We got to play the rest from this Senate hearing the other day. Was it yesterday? And there's a registered nurse who's going to share some things she saw on the front lines in New York City. Hang on for that. We got that coming up in a second. First, let me tell you about Birch Gold Group. Inflation's already running hot. We all know that. It's right at the highs of the, last 40 years. And now the Democrats are pushing through, they're trying to push through all kinds of spending plans, and they've successfully done some of them. This is a great time to diversify your savings into physical gold and silver with Birch Gold Group, because inflation is going to be out of control, and you need a hedge against that inflation. Birch Gold Group is the company I recommend for precious metals. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of satisfied customers. And they can help you protect your hard-earned savings. Right now, thanks to a little-known section of the IRS tax code, you can legally move your IRA or 401k into precious metals with no tax implications, no penalties. To get started protecting your savings with gold in a tax-sheltered account, request a free info kit from Birch Gold by texting the word PAT to 989-898. It's a comprehensive 20-page kit that they're going to send you to tell you how gold and silver can protect your savings and how you can move your IRA or 401k out of volatile stocks, which are looking a little iffy right now, and into precious metals IRA. There's zero cost, no obligation to request the info, so why wait? Text PAT to the number 989-898. Again, PAT to 989-898.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So a registered nurse, Nicole Suratek, shared what she saw on the front lines in New York City at the Senate hearing. Check this out.
My name is Nicole Suratek. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over a decade. My specialty is critical care, trauma, and flight. Since the start of the COVID pandemic, I've actually been rebranded, I guess you can say, as a leading expert in early intervention strategies executed on a large mass scale using the FLCCC protocol, as well as COVID patient ventilator protective strategies to optimize COVID patients on the ventilators. My story actually begins back in May of 2020. I was one of the original nurses that went to NYC to help with the COVID pandemic because, as we remembered, they needed nurses. And most importantly, they needed ventilators. Well, I was the whole package, a flight nurse that can manage ventilators. And when I arrived there, the gross negligence and the medical, malfeasance that happened in there, and the complete medical mismanagement of these patients, is what has led us to the situation that we're in right now. The pandemic and the hysteria that was created from poor public health measures and poor execution of appropriate early intervention strategies, and the handicapping of medical professionals doing their job has led to where we are right now and into the crisis situation that we are in. I will use several key case studies that will represent larger descriptive statistical information for what I'm going to speak of. But when I was in New York, and what continues to happen today, is that many of them are not dying from COVID. Now, many people don't know about me is that I'm actually a master's prepared biochemist, and I have worked extensively with the HIV virus, tracking genetic mutations. So I feel very comfortable
Pause it for a second.
going toe-to-toe with some of
A
these
lot of people don't know that
aware.
about me either. But it surprises them. They didn't know that.
Kind of throws them off.
Because I don't like to, brag. I
And what
don't get into it a lot.
What are you again?
What she said.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what did she say?
Yeah, I don't want to show off, so I'm not going to get into it.
I was asking.
I'm not going to get into it. It's kind of an aside here.
But I missed
it's not
it.
even the real main
I was doing a crossword. I missed
Yeah.
what she said.
Well, I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
The problem is she's almost too smart for her own good.
She is.
Okay.
Yeah, she's throwing a lot of stuff out there.
Right.
But let's hear the rest.
I think she's trying to set up her credentials here.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
kind of. Mm-hmm.
Now, many people don't know about me is that I'm actually a master's prepared biochemist.
Yeah,
and
master's
I've
prepared
worked extensively
biochemist.
with the
Yeah,
HIV
yeah.
virus, tracking genetic mutations.
Now
So
listen to this.
I feel very comfortable going toe-to-toe with some of these doctors here, although I am not a doctor. I'm just a nurse.
Yeah,
But
But you are a master's prepared biochemist.
We knew what was happening. And when we asked for the ibuprofen, they said, no, it was contraindicated. When we asked, why aren't
Can
we
we
giving
stop
them
for just a
steroids?
second?
Oh, well,
We're never
What
going
is
to finish
the
this.
mastered prepared biochemist?
Right.
Does that mean that she has a master? Or
In
I
biochemistry?
don't think it does.
No, she
I
was-
think she's mastered. I think she's up to.
she's-
She made it to where she could get her master's
Yes.
and decided,
Yes.
you know what? No, I'm not going to do that.
The prerequisites out of the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She could have mastered in biochemistry, but she didn't.
Right. Which is
That's a
like
good
that.
spin.
But that's good.
I got to
Yeah.
remember that.
That's right.
I'm a master's prepared biochemist.
Yeah. I'm
So-
a master's prepared doctor, too. Okay.
All right,
I'm
we've got to
sorry.
start
Let's see
mixing
the
that
rest.
into the lexicon around here.
But what we saw on these front lines, we knew what was happening. And when we asked for the ibuprofen, they said, no, it was contraindicated. When we asked, why aren't we giving them steroids? Oh, well, it's not. We're just following orders. Following orders has led to the sheer number of deaths that has occurred in these hospitals. I didn't see a single patient died of COVID. I've seen a substantial number of patients die of negligence and medical malfeasance.
Wow. She didn't see
is something.
a single person die from COVID. It was all from malfeasance. That's interesting.
That's a pretty
frightening,
incredible accusation, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Especially from a master's prepared biochemist.
Oh, she's just a nurse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
the nurse
and a
is-
master's
the
prepared
nurse has gotta be
biochemist.
pissed because at the end she goes, "I'm just a nurse."
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
I know.
Can't do that. All right. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Speaking of people dying from whatever, I noticed you killed somebody last week.
Jeffy's a murderer.
Louie Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
You killed him.
Seriously, I didn't know when our
killed
day
him dead.
began on Friday that the man even had cancer.
I
Jeffy
was-
brings
I was
it up.
I was asked several times on social media to not say people's names on
Yeah,
the air
please.
anymore.
Please.
What a
Because Jeffy
jinx.
mentioned that he had cancer or something,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
And
Last
an hour
Friday.
later,
He's
the
dead.
news breaks.
Yeah, he's dead.
You break it to me a little easier.
Right?
I mean,
We had 60 minutes
Jeez.
to know
It was
that the man
sad.
was suffering.
I know. It was sad.
Yeah, you did it.
If you don't know who Louie Anderson is, he's a comedian.
Are you living under
Been
a
comedian.
rock?
Yeah. Here's.
What are you?
and-
Are you preparing for your
Hold on,
masters
hold
on
on,
biochemistry?
Hold on,
don't
before
know
you
Louis
play this
Anderson?
clip here, This is his first appearance on The Tonight Show. It's 1984, and he opened up this, and it's not on this clip right here, but he opened up with what Jeffy told us last Friday.
Yeah, my favorite clip from him.
I gotta run. Yeah, go ahead.
He just stands in front of the mic stand and he goes, "Don't worry, I won't be long. I'm between meals."
Does he do that here?
Oh, well, no, not on this clip, but he did start this out. Carson loved him on this, yeah.
All right.
Being in California, being fat, and try to get into this California life. Went to the beach the other day. Every time I'd lay down, people would push me back into the water.
See, like a whale. Like a whale is what he's saying there.
Hurry up, he's dying. And the bums down at the beach, always coming up to you, those guys. Hey, buddy, could you help me out with a sandwich? Well, sure, where is it?
That makes it even more sad, doesn't it?
I know, it sure does.
And you go down memory lane with him. 1984. Wow.
Right, I mean, nobody on that screen there is alive. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Right.
Sad.
Really sad. Yeah, thanks for that, Doug.
Wow, that was a good aside.
Thank you.
It's great.
What are you, Grim Reaper over here?
I'd be surprised if anyone in the audience that was cheering is still alive, but that's just me.
What else you got?
I don't know that.
You know, the cameraman, he's probably long gone.
Oh, they're all dead.
Everybody in that building is gone.
They're all dead.
Yeah. Let's go to Dana in Virginia. Hey, Dana. You're on the Blaze. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I'm so thrilled to be on the air on a Wednesday with Jeffy.
Oh, I'm thrilled too.
Well, you're not thrilled about being on the air with a master's prepared biochemist? I mean, I'm a little
slightly
hurt.
less.
Wow.
Slightly less
All right.
thrilled.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
About 10 of us from Charlottesville went to the D.C. March on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was fantastic.
How many people do you think were there?
About 20,000.
Oh, wow. Okay. Better than I
Wow.
thought. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yes.
And of course,
yes,
we heard
a
almost
lot.
nothing about it. It
we
got
didn't.
no coverage.
I actually thought it looked like more than that.
Really?
Some of the shots I saw looked like it was more than 20,000.
It could have been. We were up front close, but the media was prepared to do nothing but lie. WAPO reporter spoke to me, and I'm glad she didn't share my story because she called Dr. Malone a liar.
Wow.
But I'm calling in because they cut the power off at 3:30. Otherwise, I think it would have gone a couple more hours. But we wanted to get a drink in D.C. afterwards, and I was the only member in our group that had papers.
Oh.
And the first restaurant, they would serve us outside, and it was really cold that day. They would serve us outside, but we could not have alcohol on that side of the restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
So we had to walk a couple more blocks, and we went to another restaurant, and they took us in the side door to a tented area.
So what papers do you have that document that, just the paper that says you've had the vaccination?
Yeah, just my vaccine card.
The card? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I was actually looking into making it up there for this, and I noticed that they had to move from D.C. across the river to Virginia in order to get around this, where they could have people that show up that are unvaccinated go out to restaurants and enjoy the area.
Correct.
Ugh.
And be able to stay in the hotels.
Right.
Right.
Unreal.
Now, you guys knew that the NFL playoffs were happening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you were, really big about seeing the docs and everything, but I mean, football is
greatest game
You
ever.
know.
No.
I made the sacrifice. I chose the march.
Now, see, that came from the guy you were excited about talking to, not the master's prepared biochemist.
Now how do you feel?
So,
Now how do you feel?
now I bet you feel silly. You gotta feel silly now.
I was on the fence about Jeffy to begin with.
Yeah.
I might be back on that fence. I might be back on that.
All right. So what was the what happened eventually? Did you wind up getting a
We
place to eat?
we had a terrific young server who spoke with us. We were able to share with him what we were doing in DC and the importance of it.
Sounds like there's some biochemistry going on there between you and the server.
This young server.
Well,
yeah.
I don't want to brag. I don't want to brag.
Yeah. All right. So
I mean, you're happy the outcome. You feel good about it, and it was all good, even though they said, "Hey, time's up, power's off, we're unplugging it, it's done, get out."
We did, because I actually we came down with Omicron the first week of January.
Welcome.
So I was thankful to be there, but I never thought I would be at a rally where I would hear Reza, who is the speaker for the Nation of Islam, giving props to Robert Kennedy Jr., and I would be cheering for that.
Yeah, that's really something.
That's
amazing. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
I mean,
that is
the kind of oneness that we feel with Robert Kennedy Jr. right now is really
a little
weird,
strange,
and unsettling, because the guy's an extreme leftist.
Don't necessarily want to be there.
I know, right? You're starting to think, well, if I agree with him, I must be wrong. Maybe I should be getting this vaccine. I don't know. All right, let me tell you about OmegaXL. You have 360 joints from your neck down to your toes. That's a lot. And so there's a lot that can go wrong and a lot of pain that you can have in places you don't want pain. And inflammation and the SPMs that start to go away. These are the things that keep your joints rejuvenated and healthy. And with time and age and just the normal day-to-day beating that your joints take, some of those SPMs go away. Well, OmegaXL restores them and helps the inflammation go away in your joints and thus the pain. Go to OmegaXL.com/Pat. When you buy your first bottle, they're going to throw in a second one for free. OmegaXL.com/Pat, or just call them at 800-844-4888. Welcome. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The police officer, the second police officer that was shot in New York City, just died last night.
Oh,
so tragic. Really sad. Really sad. And I don't know what they're going to do about the ambushing that it's going on
around
of police
America.
Officers across the country.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah, in this case, the cops were in the house,
in the apartment,
and he was in the bedroom, right, waiting for him, and just shot him in the head.
Came out and started shooting.
Yep, the mom called him, said he was crazy. Then we were walking down that hallway. Then he's still alive, right?
No, is he?
They shot. He was on life support or brain dead, but he was still alive. The guy that shot the cops. That surprised me.
He just died too.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all three dead.
All right.
Wow. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. January 6th. January 6th, the day
democracy
almost died. And, of course, it couldn't have been worse, could it?
No.
I don't think it could have been worse. The worst event since, well, even worse probably than the Civil War.
Yeah,
I think you'd have to say worse than the
pick
Civil War.
any random day
Doesn't
during
matter.
the Civil
It's
War.
worse than that.
Yeah.
It was worse than 9/11. It was worse than Pearl Harbor. Really, we've been told these things. That people actually say these things with their mouths.
And mean it.
And mean it.
And mean it.
And incredibly, yes, mean it. When one person was actually killed, and that was Ashley Babbitt, who, by the way, we're finding out some interesting facts about Ashley Babbitt and the video analysis around the shooting there. She was apparently desperately trying to prevent rioters from vandalizing the doors leading to the speaker's lobby.
Yep.
Even stepping between one of the troublemakers and police officers guarding the doors.
Oh,
Oh, man. Then there's a video clip that appears to show that she tried to prevent the attack and not join it. She actually spoke to the police officers.
Right.
About 5 minutes prior to her getting shot and killed, Officer Yetter and other officers in the hall, the MPD cops, were all joking and laughing with her. I mean, how tragic is this?
Yeah, you want to talk about
senseless
an
is
ambush,
this?
And that would be what happened to Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah. Jeez.
Because you'll recall, I mean, the gun comes out. I mean, it's aimed at her. I mean, that was so avoidable, unnecessary.
An audio analysis of video taken in the hallway reveals that Babbitt shouted, "Stop, no, don't, wait." According to her husband, Aaron says, after repeatedly forcing myself to watch the murder of my wife. Man, that's got to be...
You aren't kidding.
Oof. Nearly impossible. I have come to my own conclusion that Ashley came to a point of realization that she was in a very bad situation and the police weren't acting appropriately to what she was witnessing. And they shot her in the neck and killed her. Just really, really sad and tragic. Now, have we stumbled upon, though, another Ray Epps?
Yeah,
We're about to meet Luke Philip Robinson.
Yeah, Ray Epps, by the way, was the guy seen in numerous videos.
Multiple videos.
The night before,
yeah.
During, encouraging people to storm the Capitol, go inside. In fact, he's the guy who whispered into somebody's ear right before they broke through the barricades for the first time.
He's an instigator, in other words. He instigated a lot of stuff.
And he appeared, I believe he was number 16 on the FBI's list of people they were trying to track down.
But
what happened?
Suddenly vanished.
Vanished
off of the list. Not on the list
No
anymore.
longer interested, the FBI.
And neither was Luke Philip Robinson is a similar situation.
Oh, wow. Let's meet this guy.
And so we were about to meet him because somebody set him up for a little meeting.
Ray Epps.
You know who Ray Epps?
Because we knew you were at the Capitol, and we weren't sure if you had an earpiece and a firearm, man. You had a firearm on federal property. That's serious stuff. I got charged with a misdemeanor for parading and picking, and that's a firearm, man. And I met you 10 days after the FBI came to my house on April 3rd.
Okay.
What's going on, man? All right, yeah. What's with the earpiece at the Capitol? Who were you talking to? Who were you talking to, though?
You actually want to buy this bike or not?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
We don't need the bike.
Who were you talking to at the Capitol of the earpiece?
Is that a tandem? Nice.
See you guys later.
Hey, man, we're just trying to figure out what's going on. Luke Robinson, number 343, removed from the FBI wanted list. 10 days after the 10 days after the FBI came to my house, I met Luke on April 3rd, 2021. And 2 weeks ago, I found out Luke Robinson was removed from 343 on the FBI most wanted list. And he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to know what's going on. He had a firearm on him on federal property and an earpiece, and he was removed from the Capitol. We don't know what's going on, brother, but we just want to figure it out. If you're in serious stuff, you got to get a lawyer. You need to figure it out, man. We want you to be safe. I know who you are. Are you cooperating with the FBI?
Are you
Why'd they remove
part of the FBI?
I don't want to talk.
I'm good.
They've only removed 3 names. Go on what?
I'll see you guys later.
They've only removed 3 names from the FBI list. We're not sure why they removed you, why they removed Ray Epps. We're praying for you, Luke. We're praying for you.
It's nice. It's good. All right. So what's going on there? So what is going on with those guys? He's spoken to 2 of the 3 that have been removed from the FBI most wanted list. Why were they removed?
Yeah, that was posted by an account that goes by the JFK report. So I'd be interested to see if there's a follow-up on this as we move along.
Really interesting.
Isn't that something?
When we start getting more and more access to the video.
Yeah.
Day,
if we ever do.
To see, really how many instigators there were.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. And who are these instigators? Are you cooperating with the FBI, or do you work for the FBI?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you to find out that some of these instigators, or all of the instigators, were part of the FBI? Wouldn't surprise me.
I'd be shocked.
A bit.
I'd be shocked.
Would
to
you?
be
Because I
honest. Yes.
really wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides of that spectrum,
he's
clearly.
a chemist.
Well, yes, a master's prepared
So
biochemist.
you got to listen to this.
Sorry.
Right.
Okay?
Apologize.
Yeah. Put that in your pipe and smoke it if you would.
Think they'll ever build a road between Keith's house and Pat's house?
No! Please, no! No! No!
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on The Blaze.
Got some tweets here. Bob Blah Blah tweets the Lab Monkeys would be a great band name.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Lab Monkeys. Yeah, not bad. Jim Eagle 17. I'll translate what the RN, the registered nurse, is saying. For being a master's prepared biochemist. I couldn't get into med school.
Oh, no. Oh, that hurts.
From Wes, does mixing coffee
really
grounds
funny.
with water make me a master chemist? And from Bulltish Stupid SOB, good thing the officer that shot Ashley is still active on the force.
Yep.
Isn't that the truth?
So it's all good. Everything's fine.
Man,
Been
that's
investigated. No worries.
So incredible.
It sure is.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Did you read about this? You see this in the paper?
What is it,
today?
Jay? What do you got, man?
Did you see this?
Tell us.
Peter Dinklage, you know who he is?
Oh, yeah. I love this story.
He is pissed off at Disney that they're doing another Snow White movie. Yes, he is.
Not really.
There's no not really about
yes,
it. I read
is.
the whole article. He was
being interviewed. He was saying he was laying the groundwork.
I don't.
Pat, read the story and then let it chime in.
Okay. Yes. So he
is.
His words
Angry
were,
dwarf.
you tell me, they're going to make another effing backwards movie about dwarfs living in a cave together.
But he's not mad about
he's not
that.
mad about
That's
it.
just taking
He's
on
not mad about
context.
it. Yes.
No, go ahead. Tell your story.
Now he doesn't want to talk about it.
Now he doesn't want to
No,
talk
I
about
will
it.
talk about it.
Because
All right.
we proved him.
No,
we proved
you
him
did
wrong.
not. It
we
was
proved
being
him wrong.
interviewed, and it was asked about the stupid movie.
Yeah.
And he said Disney was all big and woke.
Yeah, I
about
just said
about bringing in the Latinx or whoever is playing Snow White and the dwarves, and he was saying that they're not all woke. If they're going to rethink the whole thing.
He was pissed about it.
Right.
He said, you're progressive in one way, and you're still making that effing backwards story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together? What the F are you doing, man? Yeah, that sounds like somebody's not pissed at all.
No,
right?
it sounds
that
like
sounds
he's
like somebody's really happy
walking the
about
park.
it. Yeah, this is somebody who likes the movie and wants it made.
Yeah. That's what I'm picking up.
What is it going to be? Snow White and the 7 rappers? What are we going to do?
I don't know. That's the thing. That's the thing. Everything has to be changed.
Right.
Whether it's dwarfs or trans, gays, lesbians, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. Don't dare proceed with anything involving any of those groups unless it's pre-approved by every single person in each of those groups, or you're done. Right?
The lesbian and the 7 trans.
I mean, yeah. You couldn't possibly make that movie.
Oh, my. That movie's on a Jeffy site.
But you know what's interesting? My religion is completely fair game.
It sure is.
It's been mocked,
It sure
ridiculed, and lied about in a Broadway musical now for 11 years.
And they all love
it's
it.
Perfectly
It's okay.
fine. That's perfectly fine. Don't say word one about it.
University is getting attacked again.
Yes, it
getting
is.
attacked again for not being
because they
inclusive
don't
enough.
want homosexual dating. That's part of the
part of their code, right? That's part of the code.
Honor
That's
code.
part of when you go there. That's the deal.
Yes.
Can't have that.
Nope.
I mean, it's
it's unbelievable. Really, it's unbelievable.
So BYU, a religious institution.
Yes, that accepts no federal dollars. None. They don't. Now, their students accept federal dollars to pay for school.
And that's where the federal
and
government
that's
gets.
What about
where they get in. But they accept no federal money.
Do they get study
None.
money?
No.
For some of the studies and stuff?
No.
I didn't see that. I haven't seen that.
They don't accept federal money.
Okay, but let's just point out that Harvard was started as a religious institution, right?
Right.
Okay, but you
That
never
is right.
see the government coming down on them.
No, you sure don't.
It's, anything that they do is cool. No,
that's-
we're good with that.
That's for sure.
But BYU sets a policy
And-
based in religion. No.
And what are you doing butting your nose into a private institution like that anyway? I don't even understand.
Right? I mean, the way that they think
they're under federal investigation,
right?
Because that's part of their honor code. Crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. But don't do a fairy tale movie about 7 dwarfs in a cave. You can't do that.
What's amazing is
unbelievable.
Someone's an angry little elf.
Dinklage has he says this on a podcast, and Disney says, let's rethink that. He's
and
right.
That's exactly what's happening now. They are rethinking it. A Disney spokesperson told Deadline to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film. By the way, what was that, 1939?
Seriously.
Something like that.
We're taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community.
Excellent.
We look forward to sharing more as the film heads into production after a lengthy development period.
Are we going to use quarter boys instead of dwarves?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. What?
It's going to be completely different. I don't know. Maybe they don't live together. Maybe they're not part of the thing. Maybe they're not dwarves. They're just short people. I don't know.
The rapper. I think I like Snow White and the Rappers.
I like that. Snow White and the 7 Rappers.
Yeah.
Would that surprise you? Wouldn't surprise me.
No, it would not. No, it would not at all.
Unbelievable. And they're going to use, this is about Snow White, okay?
Right.
It's named that.
Right.
Because she was white.
White.
Right? I mean, that's wrong now. So you bring in a Latina actress to play wait a minute, what happened to cultural appropriation? It's okay to appropriate a white role with a Latina person, but try to do the opposite and see what happens.
No way.
You can't.
Yeah, no way.
You can't. Imagine, this is the same girl who's in West Side Story. Imagine
which was a huge hit, by the way.
White actress playing that role on West Side Story. It could not happen.
They wouldn't allow it.
They wouldn't allow it.
They wouldn't allow it.
They would not. It would be cultural appropriation. How
maybe
dare you do that?
With as good as West Side Story has proven to be, which it has not, by the way.
Right. That did not do well.
Maybe they would rethink the whole thought process.
Yeah, you would think so, but no. No, they're too perfect, and they're too wonderful, and they're too woke to worry about any of it. And to see if there's reasons why that movie was a total disaster.
I mean, they spent all kinds of money. Spielberg was in love with it, and it stunk.
Yeah, like $200 million or something they spent on that thing. And it was delayed 2 years because of the COVID thing.
Right.
I mean, that had to cost a fortune. And then it made, I don't know, it's up to $30 million or something.
I would
Huge
argue
flop.
that's not even of the amount. I mean, that is less than
Probably
that.
less than that. I bet it is. I'll bet it is.
I'll look it up.
But they had it coming.
No, I mean,
good.
I know.
Good.
I know.
Jeez. All right.
Go broke.
Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. Real Estate Agents I Trust. This is the real estate agency you need to turn to and find yourself a great realtor to help sell your home, or if you're trying to buy a home, or maybe you're doing both because you're relocating. You want somebody with a lot of experience, somebody who does this full-time and concentrates on it, somebody who's been successful in the past doing it, and who knows, what buyers in your area are looking for. Already, I guess the in things have changed from what they were about 6 months ago.
Oh,
it's
really?
it's already completely different.
I've already repainted.
I know.
Gosh,
You're gonna have to repaint again.
No.
If you painted white or gray, you need to redo that completely now because that's completely out. I'm sorry. That's just not cool. Now we want warmth again.
We do?
That's what I said about my colors in the first place.
I know.
They were warm and inviting, and I don't want to just go to white. Well,
that's what people want.
That's what people want,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So what about
Okay.
wood paneling? Is that back in style?
Wood paneling,
Yeah,
yes.
is that good?
Especially if it looks
In the
like it
kitchen?
came from 1975.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
That's
And
good.
I'm a fan.
If you pair it with the orange carpeting,
The shag carpet?
with the orange and black shag carpet, where it
Yeah.
looks like Halloween all through your
All
house.
right.
Personally, I like
Yeah, they love
I
that.
like the paneling half up with some wallpaper on top. Of
Okay,
the
yeah,
paneling
that's a
like
good
that
look
with
as
a
well.
little edge. Yeah.
You know what? Talk to your realtor about it from Real Estate Agents I Trust and
They'll
see if
find
they
it. They'll find
recommend
it.
that.
They'll find that perfect house, the dream home.
Yeah. If that's what you want, I'm sure they can find it for you. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
I mean, think about that, though. The name is written into it. Okay, it's a story about Snow White, and they call her that because her skin is so white. Am I wrong in that?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I thought it was always.
Isn't it about her skin? It's not about her hair, because her hair is jet black.
So is this going to be in the new movie? Is the Spanish girl or
Hispanic
Latin
girl, the Latinx or Latina?
Is that just going to be her last name, White?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
All right.
Quite honestly, but it's a good question.
I don't know.
Jeffy, you should keep asking.
I'm trying to rewrite it. For
I know.
Disney.
We need to get to the bottom.
Corby
of it.
suggests her last name will now be Snow Blanco.
Snow Blanco.
Snow Blanco is good.
I like Snow Blanco.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like it. All right.
Snow Blanco and the cartel.
I don't know. It's just you can't keep up. Everything is just so upside down and inside out. How are you expected to follow it?
I don't know.
You can't.
You can't.
You just can't. Here's something really good though, because everything's going to hell and crime is out of control, and police departments are being shut down and defunded.
You got to do something about the guns.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I hope that's what the story is. I'll tell you
It is. So the next thing we got to tackle is get the guns.
Thank you.
Am I right? San Jose has become the first city in the United States to require gun liability insurance, according to city officials. Oh, all right. Well, that's great. Gun owners will soon be required to carry liability insurance and pay a fee in the city of San Jose.
Screw you.
That officials say would be the first of its kind in the United States. Well, yeah, because it's unconstitutional.
I mean, we're all for the Second Amendment.
But
right? We're all. I mean, we're all for that.
I'm not. This has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. This is just common sense gun reform.
This is against the U.S. and the California Constitution, apparently, if you can believe that.
Wow. Yeah. City Council voted on the plan yesterday, but it's unclear exactly when it goes into effect.
And never a clock.
After the vote, San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo released a statement saying in part, "Thank you to my council colleagues who continue to show their commitment to reducing gun violence and its devastation in our community." Jeez. The Firearm Policy Coalition says it will fight the new law, calling it burdensome, unconstitutional, and prohibited by California law to law-abiding firearm-owning citizens. Since San Jose's recalcitrant city council members don't believe that the United States Constitution applies to them or their citizens, Firearms Policy Coalition and our members are now committed to fight the city's outrageous and offensive policies in federal litigation and take every possible action to block their enforcement.
Good. I mean,
that shouldn't be difficult.
We've seen a lot of that in the last couple of years of municipalities thinking that the rules don't matter to them.
Yeah, that they can ignore the U.S. Constitution and just do whatever they want.
It shouldn't be difficult, but these groups and these private donations shouldn't even be necessary. We shouldn't be to the point where you're draining your resources to fight something that is clearly unlawful.
Do I have this now? Is this why you dropped this off? Oh, okay. All right. I got to tell you about Built Bars then.
All right, then.
Built Bars are delicious, as you know. And the thing is, when you eat them, you get those hunger pangs throughout the day, and you think, what do I have here? I've got all kinds of junk.
You got Sour Patch Kids, and that's not going to do
it. People are sending us that kind of stuff all the time. I think they're literally trying to kill us.
I think
they're trying to kill us.
I think you're right.
But Built Bar is actually good for you.
They're trying
Built
to
Bars
save you. They're good.
Yes. They satisfy that sweet tooth and your hunger pangs, and they're good for you. 18 grams of protein in these, and only 4 to 5 grams of sugar or carbs. Really great. 180 calories or less in many cases, and all kinds of delicious flavors like coconut, mint brownie, double chocolate, salted caramel, cookies and cream, and there's a lot more. And these new Built Bar Puffs are so good. I love those. just as much as the Built Bars themselves. Go to Built.com, use the promo code PAT15 to save 15% off your first order. Promo code PAT15 for 15% off at Built.com.
Pat Gray.
Pathead Boltish artist sent us this tweet. Hope y'all are ready for this. We got a receipt from. Looks like a.
It looks like Sherwin-Williams with the faded logo in the background
Williams
of the receipt.
paint place. Yeah. They have a little. They list all of the charges.
Yeah, do we have that
on the receipt?
The itemized receipt. Yeah.
Supply chain charge. 4%.
Stop it.
You got a supply chain charge of 4%, so that's 80 cents, and then a supply chain charge on another item, 23 cents, and then another supply chain charge of 18 cents.
Nickel and dime you to death.
Are you kidding me?
So
yeah. Stores are now adding in the supply chain charge.
For each product that he purchased.
You remember when they added the fuel surcharge to deliveries and stuff like that? And that didn't go away, which we knew it wouldn't. And now we've come back around to high energy prices still on there. You got some places with COVID charges. Now we've got the supply. Stop it. This is. I wouldn't do business with a company that does that kind of crap.
No, I wouldn't either, frankly.
Well, where are you going to get your paint?
Somewhere else. There are other places besides Sherwin-Williams.
Is the only place.
Although you have to ask Sherwin-Williams. Isn't that the song?
Yeah.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
I can't remember their main logo for Sherwin.
Wait, what was it?
We used to go by the big Sherwin-Williams plant there in New Jersey, riding on New Jersey Transit every morning.
Really?
Yeah, they got the big plant there. Yeah.
I didn't notice. I didn't look out the window.
Well, now you get to pay a supply chain charge from Sherwin-Williams.
Excellent.
So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
That's irritating. At least, somebody might make the claim. At least they're showing you.
Yes.
At least they're showing it to you. A lot of places wouldn't do that.
They're just going to raise the price, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's doing that.
Yeah, so that's kind of their way of saying.
Because of inflation, everyone is doing that.
I mean, we just had the big story about all the fast food places that are raising their prices for their value meals, and they're changing the sizes for their value meals. It's all, you know what? It's unifying.
Is that what it is?
Unifying is what's happening.
Oh.
When I pull up to the gas tank and gas is over $3 a gallon,
It's unifying.
I feel what unity I have with other people at the gas
who are
pumps.
also paying over $3 a gallon.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat, it's ask how, ask now, ask Sherwin-Williams. There you go.
All right.
Does that ring a bell?
Oh, they've updated it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's from the 90s, though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought there was an older version. All right, I'm still in the hunt.
All right. Because it's one I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics are the same, but the tune was a little bit different, right?
Yeah, you're right. There was an older one.
Yeah.
But it is
a
Ask
bit different.
Sherwin-Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to ask them.
Also, this is neat. A new report says the UN is providing cash debit cards to migrants heading to the United States.
What are they supposed to do? Come here empty-handed?
No, I wouldn't expect them to do that.
That's just insane.
And I believe we have. Is it cut 9? Number 9. No. It's not number 9.
As billions of American tax dollars are spent funding the United Nations, the UN is giving out cash debit cards to U.S.-bound migrants, some receiving about $400 every 2 weeks. In other words, American taxpayers are helping to fund illegal immigration across the U.S. southern border. The cash cards are provided by UN-funded nonprofits in cities on the well-traveled routes from Latin America through Mexico.
Like Jeffy said, I mean, what are you supposed to do? You got to take care of them.
Yeah, right.
What are you supposed to do? You don't want them coming here empty-handed, do you?
Gotta help them get a start, man.
No, and then I mean, once they get here, we process them, and we give them a little cash and put them on a bus and let them go wherever we're going to ship them to.
Which is exactly what Peter Ducey asked about yesterday.
I mean, that's what's happening because Peter's talking about that footage that they had. I don't know that we have it, but there was footage of a parking garage in Texas, southern Texas, where it was a processing point where they were shipping them all.
Let's play that. Let's play that clip here.
A question about immigration.
Sure.
Why is it that large numbers of single adult men are being released into the United States just hours after being apprehended at the southern border?
That's a good
I'm
question.
not sure the specifics of what you're referring to, Peter. What I can tell you in terms of what our policy is and how we're approaching the...
Jen, have you ever watched a news report, Puddin'? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Peter. What bull crap. That's just BS.
The specifics of what you're talking about.
You know exactly what he's talking about because you've all discussed it in the meeting before you did this press conference.
That's her bailout for everything, right?
Yeah,
I don't know the specifics of what you're talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, of course you do. Do you have some newfangled thing called TV?
Television.
Come on. All right, let's see what else she had to say.
Border is
Such
that
a liar.
we continue to be under Title 42. Migrants who cannot be expelled under Title 42 are placed into immigration proceedings, and one of those avenues could be placement in an alternative to detention program in the interior of the United States. Sometimes that means moving migrants to other parts of the United States to move to different detention facilities where they wait for next steps in the immigration process, which is a court hearing, and are required to check in with the local
but they're required to check in with the local
office.
ICE office.
So that is something that is happening out there in the country and is consistent with our policy.
They're required to check in.
It's consistent. I don't doubt it's consistent with your policy. I don't doubt that for a second.
That's for sure.
Oh, that's agonizing. Wow. Speaking of the border, our friend Jonathan Dunn has reached out to tell us about an event that's coming up this weekend in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
The We Stand America event. Borders, of course, out of control. And so they're going to be discussing this and getting together in McAllen, Texas, which is right on the border. And that's one of the hot spots.
It is.
And it's the 28th through the 30th. Free tickets for military and border patrol agents. That's really cool. But some of the statistics that bring this up and, kind of inspire these kinds of activities like We Stand America event. You can go to WeStandAmerica.com, by the way, to find out more details. But there's a massive increase of southern border encounters. And in fact, it went from 458,000 in the last year of Trump to, this says 1.73 million. I'm seeing over 2 million now. Fox News is reporting over 2 million border encounters.
Jonathan Dunn sending false information.
Trying to soft pedal this thing. Massive spike of unaccompanied minors crossing the border, 33,000 in 2020, 146,000 in 2021. Do we care about potential human trafficking?
No.
Dramatic increase of criminals being arrested at the border, including homicide, sexual offenses, burglary, and assault. 2,400 in 2020, 10,700 last year.
That's just amazing. And, you look at the footage that we see of these people coming to the U.S. with their UN debit cards and the others that have arrived and we're shipping to other detention facilities.
Right.
Yeah. So many families. Pat. When you look at that footage, you
watch,
see so many families,
Watch
man.
that footage and you see how many.
I mean, it's
like none.
Incredible.
None. There were none.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.